Alright, so today we're going to make a vegan, gluten-free cheddar broccoli soup. So the ingredients that we have here is full bundle of broccoli from the grocery store, nutritional yeast, an onion, olive oil. We're going to use tapioca starch instead of wheat flour to make it gluten-free and make it thick. And then for our base, we're going to use some water. We're going to use some almond milk. If you have nut allergies in your family, then obviously you can use soy milk. If you have issues with soy, you can use rice milk. Or if you're not even worried about it being vegan at all, you can do it as non-dairy or regular dairy milk. And then we're going to cheat a little bit today, and we're going to use these veggie bouillon cubes. So we are going to cheat just a little bit on that. You can always make your own vegetable bouillon just by keeping the ends of your produce, the ends of your onions, the ends of your celery, and using that in a boiling pot of water to make your own. So we're going to get the base going. We got a little cat and Ringo behind us. So we're going to do, to start, we're going to do 2 cups of water. I'm dumping that over into a stock pot that's out of camera view. We'll turn it all around later. You'll need a stock pot, you'll need a pan, you're going to need a blender. So we're going to do 2 cups of water. You always want to shake your almond milk because sometimes it settles. And we're going to do 2 cups of almond milk. Again, you can use whatever kind of milk you want. Doesn't have to be almond milk. It can be rice milk, hemp milk. Actually, is really good. So we're gonna get. So we got that dumped into our pot.
Nice try, mister.
And we'll get the flame going on that. We're gonna start it out kind of low for now, because we just really want to get it warm. And we're gonna dump these 2 bouillon cubes in there as well. Again, these are low sodium bouillon cubes for those of you that are worried about. These are organic bouillon cubes. No hydrogenated oils, so no trans fats that we tend to get in a lot of our soups. So we're going to get that going. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut up our broccoli. Or I'm sorry, actually we're going to heat up our olive oil. We've got some nice organic olive oil Mel picked up at the store today. You know me, you know how I roll. I don't measure anything. But about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut up this broccoli. And in order to cut up this broccoli, most people, they just eat the top part. But most of the nutrition, most of the nutritious stuff is actually in the stem and in the leaves. So we're going to make sure that stuff gets in there. What I usually do is just chop off the bottom of it, just so you get nice fresh roots on the bottom of it. And then since we're going to be blending this up, what we're going to do is we're going to chop it up into smaller sizes, and we're going to get that into that oil, heat it up until it softens up, and then later we're going to add the onion and then the tops to it. So that way it heats evenly. I like to get it kind of small. That way it cooks a little bit faster. We're a little bit of a time crunch today.
For a certain reason.
Yep. Alright, so actually let me get the other half of it.
Next couple of days, I may have to go to my friend. I don't know if anybody's making a card for her, but...
Begin with the bottoms. We're cutting down here. So again, we've got our little bits and pieces all chopped down. That's going to go right in the oil. If you're worried about the olive oil, you can also use coconut oil. That's what I typically use at home. But they had olive oil in hand here today, so that's what we're going with. Just got to be careful that it doesn't hit that smoking point, because when it does hit that smoking point, it does mean that it's become carcinogenic. So we're gonna cut that stuff down, or cook that stuff down until it gets soft. We'll have our smaller pieces that we're gonna add to it later. So just cut this up, leave it off to the side. It's all gonna go in. So we use up everything. You're not throwing anything away, which is fantastic. We're using up all of the broccoli with the exception of maybe 3/4 of an inch on each stalk. Even as in this year we grew some broccoli in my own personal garden, and we planted a little bit late, hoping maybe we would get lucky and get something, and only a couple of them flowered, but we got a lot of nice good stalks, so we can still at least use the stalks. They're really good in soups, and when you blend it up like this, you're not going to notice it anyway, to be honest. So you want to get everything coated up. We're also going to cut this onion. My quick style, can't take full credit for this style of cutting an onion. Cut off one end, the other end. Make a slit in the top. And then you just peel off that outer layer. And you have a quick peeled onion. This one's being a little tricky with me today. And I did just throw out the ends. However, you can save those ends. Throw them in a bag in the freezer. Just learned this myself from another health coach, another health person.
Alright.
Good? Alright.
Do you want me to get the blender started?
The blender is going to be like the very last part. But if you've got it set up, that's good. Again, this is a pretty quick recipe, so what you can do, however, is if you want to take either the whisk or the spatula and stir our base, which is the water and the milk, and see if that bouillon cube will start to break up. But going back to the whole onion thing, keeping the ends of the onions, the ends of your celery and all that stuff, you can throw that into a bag in the freezer. When it fills up, you throw it in a stock pot full of water. And boil it.
Be careful not to burn yourself.
Yeah.
My mom has done that just before she went into you know where.
I have, yeah. I've been burning myself and cutting myself a lot lately in the kitchen.
We have what's the word? Sylvine or
The what?
it's Sylvine I can't even.
Oh. So how do we do it? Okay, so our base is kind of
It's all broken up.
Good. So we've got our base for our soup. We've got our broccoli going. I'm actually going to turn the base of the soup off until we need to heat it up later. It's all going to stay hot. So we've got 4 cups of liquid. I usually start with 4 cups of liquid. 2 cups of milk, 2 cups of water, and then if I needed to make it thinner, or if I need to stretch it more, I'll add more of the tapioca starch and more of the water to make it stretch a little bit. And of course we're going to have this nutritional yeast, which can give a nice cheesy flavor too. It's very easy to make it. It really takes more time to set up than it actually does to cook it.
And it is out of nowhere.
So our broccoli stems are getting to be pretty well cooked. We're going to add the rest of it. That way everything kind of cooks at the same. The heads of the broccoli, they cook faster. So
Than you expect.
yeah, well they cook faster than the stems, so that's why we do the stems first. Then we add the onion and all that later. So that way it all kind of cooks evenly and you don't have like completely gross and mushy broccoli. And we're leaving the leaves in too. Again, a lot of calcium in these leaves. There's more calcium in these leaves than there are in milk, believe it or not. I'm a snacker while I'm cooking. That's my downfall.
Those are homemade.
Ooh, homemade pumpkin seeds. It's that time of the year. Love it. We had some of our own.
Video bomb.
I don't know.
Video bomb.
I would suggest cooking with the cat, but you know.
He loves to help.
Alright, so it looks like we're getting bigger with that. We're going to take this off, we're going to dump this into our pan. And then we're going to turn our attention over here. I'll turn the camera so you can see.
Okay. I'm not ditching you.
I'm going to move some stuff out of the way here. I'm going to turn this. We are recording this on an iPad. Sorry, I'm a small business. This is what I do. Low budget. You see, there is a little bit of smoke coming off of there. It means we want to turn our heat down a little bit because it's getting a little bit carcinogenic. With that olive oil. If you're using coconut oil, it won't do this. Sorry, not my normal kitchen. If I could put this kitchen setup in my place, that'd be great. You have videos like this every couple of days. So we're going to cook it down. It's actually gotten a little bit dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. Just to make sure everything doesn't burn up. Plus, I'm used to cooking with electric at home. They got gas here. They live, you know. They live here in the now as opposed to me.
Sorry, Jason. My milk's not back here.
Ooh. That's good there. Got the onions going. You think I'm gonna be a one-man show? Cat got out. We're just going to cook this up. Now you can put a cover over this if you want it to cook faster. It keeps all the steam, keeps all the heat in, and it cooks it up a lot faster.
Someone got in.
Someone got in? Oh, I thought you said you got stuck
Yeah,
outside.
he got into the room.
Oh, I thought I closed the... Uh-oh.
I went to go put the garbage bag in there and the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I obviously didn't think he was following me.
Mm. So we're going to have to turn this camera again because we can leave it that way for now. Give it a minute. Because the blender's over there, there's no outlet. That's the only thing that this island is missing that would make it perfect is an outlet.
My mom don't like to cook right where there's outlets.
You gotta get the GFC out, the ground fault circuit interrupters. Just opening our bag of nutritional yeast. For those of you who don't know what nutritional yeast is, it's a deactivated yeast. It has a very, very cheesy flavor. You can get it in a powdered form, you can get it in a flake form. You could use it on popcorn if you're doing popcorn in a pan. Make yourself cheesy popcorn. Alright, so we got all this broccoli going. We're going to go ahead and turn it. Turn the camera towards where the blender is. So we'll be able to see what we're doing here.
What I gotta do.
Out of the camera view for a moment. So what we do, let's see. We'll make sure the top is open here. We'll bring the broccoli into view.
I'm just trying to get information for the hospital.
Now watch out, hot pan coming. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoop this into the blender. Forgot to scoop. But all this goes right in. We're going to make a little bit of a mess here. It's usually best to do this in batches. I like to leave some of the broccoli and some of it whole, so you got little bits and chunks that you could pull out. So it gives your soup a little more consistency, so it's not just a complete pureed liquid. So we got almost all of it in there. I'm going to go get our liquid. Yeah, I'm bringing that off this side in case we need a little extra.
Hi, is my dad there by any chance, Aunt Carol? Okay, he's not answering my texts or...
Right, so we're going to...
No, it's just, it was a quick question about my mom, to see if she had her phone with her. So,
Here I am not using oven mitts. Don't suggest that.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to get a rough idea. Okay. Thank you.
Alright, so here it is in the blender. We're gonna blend
Oh
it
yeah,
up.
he did. And then he didn't say where he was going back to or whatever.
When you do anything hot in the blender,
Okay.
you want to take
Alright.
the top off
Alright.
of the top of the blender.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So the steam can escape. Otherwise, you can get burned that way. So, again, you take that top off, let the steam escape. So we're
And
gonna
also
go
I have a
with
window open too.
your
What are we doing right now?
So that was pretty much the hardest part of it. So we've got a nice pureed broccoli thing going on here. And what we're going to do now, I'm going to turn you back this way. So we'll turn it back towards the pot. If you want to do that for me, Mel, thank you. Alright, so here we are back at the pot. We're going to dump all this in. And actually, I think we're going to put the other 2 cups of the milk in. So if you want to give me that almond milk too.
In this?
Yep. So that way we end up with a bit more soup for you guys. So we're gonna put
Our
the-
family eats the soup a lot.
Okay.
I have a feeling my mom's gonna do all of it.
Yep, just going to dump the rest of it in there. So we're going to end up with probably close to 8 full cups
I
of
have a
soup.
feeling my mom's gonna be able to have soup even if she's recovering.
Oh yeah, that's probably going to be her main source of food, is soup. Alright, so we got that in there.
Every little bit.
Good. Yeah, might as well use it all up, right? Alright, so we've got that in there. We've got a good amount of soup going, and I'll give you an aerial view in a little bit. Because you'll notice that it's not very, very, very thick. So that's the trick. It's not very cheesy yet either. You know me, I don't really measure anything, but we're going to throw some... we're going to throw some of this nutritional yeast in here. Now you can take a look at it. It's in a flake form. You can also get it in a powdered form. So I'm going to throw a scoop in here. This is probably about 1/3 of a cup, give or take. I usually use about 1/2 a cup. So we're going to use almost a full another scoop to get that in there. That's going to give it a cheesy taste.
Ready to go.
So we'll mix that in there a little bit. I'll show you what it looks like before we really get into it. Alright, so we're going to do a little crazy camera work here. And I'll show you how it looks now. Right now it looks pretty thin. It's very thin because we got to thicken this thing up. So how do we do that? As we jumble around. Shoddy camera work, shoddy camera work. We add this tapioca starch in. You add a little bit in at a time. And it's best to add just a little bit. And then whisk it for a while it's heating, because as it heats, it'll thicken as you spin through it. So right now we've got about 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast, probably about 1/4 cup of tapioca starch. If it doesn't thicken up right away, it's okay, it's pretty normal. You just gotta stir it for a while, and you'll notice it'll start to thicken up a little bit. So then we add a little more. It's best to stir it right away, because if you don't stir it right away, it clumps up. But it's easier to work with than, say, rice flour if you're trying to make gluten-free. If you use rice flour, it clumps very, very, very easily. Tapioca starch, tapioca flour, whichever you want to call it, does not. And Mel, if you could do me a favor and grab me a spoon, because I'm going to be tasting this stuff. I guess that'll work.
That's
Actually, I'm going to need a different spoon. That's my fork. Take a little tasting spoon. I want to see how cheesy it is, because like I said, right now we've got 1/2 cup of the nutritional yeast in here, which gives us the cheesy flavor without having any dairy, without having all the extra fat. Because when you start throwing globs of cheese or like Velveeta and stuff like that in here, you're getting fat and other chemicals. With the nutritional yeast, it's all you're getting is the yeast. I love this stuff. Actually, it is pretty good. And then what I usually do at the end is just kind of pepper to taste. I'm going to add just a little bit more nutritional yeast in it just to make it a little bit of a cheesier flavor. So we're probably going to go a little over half a cup here. Probably about 3/4 of a cup total. And I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. So it's probably about half a cup of the tapioca starch. And once we get it to a nice thick consistency, I'll give you a show of what it looks like. I already tell you it tastes good. I don't make anything taste bad. At least not more than once.
I thought that was my phone ringing.
So this way, when you do this, you've got this great cream of broccoli soup, because so many times it's
Hey, I can't talk right
cream
now.
of broccoli soup.
Text me, one of the two, okay? I can't talk right now.
Cream of broccoli soup. It's got a heavy cream in it. It's got flour in it. It's got a lot of filler. It's got cheese in it. You take something broccoli, something like broccoli, and you make it gets turned into something that's not so healthy for you.
Yeah.
But this way you've got the nut milk in it, or the soy milk, or whatever kind of milk you want to use. No gluten, no cheese, no extra fat.
Right.
I mean, there's hardly any fat in this whole recipe. Actually, if I could find the box, I don't know the total fat off the top of my head. Now, do you know where the box is for the milk?
The milk?
Yeah, the empty box.
Oh, I tossed it over by recycle.
Oh, okay.
Like, we usually make a recycle pile over here, which eventually I think we're just gonna make a pile and then just burn it eventually.
That'll work. Alright, so if you want to know what the total fat content of this is, total fat content is there's 12 grams of fat in this, in here. There's 1 gram of fat per serving nutritional yeast, and we probably used about 6 servings, so it's another 6. So you're talking 18 grams of fat in this whole pot of soup. Probably you get 18 grams of fat in just 3 ounces of cheddar cheese. So think about that for a minute. There's no chemicals in this. There's no dyes in this. There's nothing. Just all natural goodness. So I'm gonna give you a look at this. Take a look now. See how it's thickened up. See if I can. We lost you there for a minute, but we're back. I hit the button on the bottom. So see how it's thickened up. See if I can hold the camera and stir it at the same time. You can see now it's a much thicker consistency, just like a cream of broccoli soup. So pretty easy. Again, sorry about the shoddy camera work, but there it is. Your cream of broccoli soup, gluten-free, vegan, low fat, low carb, delicious.